And we're here in Spa for round 3 of the BeamNG competition, and we are underway here for the third race in the series. Looks like the leader's got away cleanly, and it is blue leading the race at the moment as Lime drops back a couple of places. And red there is shoved onto the grass, and there's a bit of a kerfuffle there. They go 4 wide into the first corner as orange and red spin around. The rest of the cars try to make it through the first corner safely, but yellow hits orange and doesn't manage to make it out unscathed. This is the second time orange has been spun on the first lap in just 3 races in this series, as Cyan and green there go side by side. As we approach Eau Rouge, blue leads, followed by pink with a substantial lead from the rest of the pack, and then comes purple, lime, black, who made a lot of positions from the start. He started in 9th, cyan in 6th, green in 7th, red in 8th, 9 for yellow, who seems to have damage, and orange in 10th. Pink there just trying to pull around aside blue, but decides he's too far back to make a move as we come around the corner at the end of the Camel Straight. Could have been more chaotic in this first lap, but most of the cars make it through as red tries to sneak around green there, but doesn't manage to get quite the way around, and yellow goes straight on there. Yellow is straight on into the runoff, clearly has damage from hitting orange earlier. Let's hope he can just keep it rolling and pray for a red flag so that all the cars are reset as he rolls towards the track. Okay, so let's look at some replays of the start here. So first we'll look at the top view of corner 1. You can see red being shoved wide there and everyone's sneaking through. Orange gets spun around by purple, and black and green manage to make a lot of positions, taking the inside line, just swooping past everyone. Looking on board with orange here. Starts in 3rd, pulls up beside pink there. Oh, and yeah, pink kind of swerves across there, and orange was side by side but decides to pull out, and then gets tapped around by orange. You can hear the crunch of bodywork there, and all the cars scramble to try to get around, but yellow makes contact with orange. Unfortunately for yellow, it seems that it might have race-ending damage, but orange managed to get going quite fine as we ride on board with red now, who also spun on the first lap but got shoved wide. So we can see here, zooms past lime, gets on beside purple, but purple just pushes red onto the grass. So purple caused both spins in this first lap, and then red just loses it on the grass and gains position going past orange, but loses much more there at the start. And we can see here yellow struggling with damage, red's pulling up behind, gaining, and then when we go to Eau Rouge, I suspect that red will make an overtake here with yellow struggling. Yep, yellow goes straight on, same with the next corner, and red swoops on by. Riding on board with yellow here, who gets caught in a bit of a kerfuffle at the start, and gets some damage because of it. So cyan and green go slowly. Yellow also gets pushed on the grass, and red tries to rejoin and hits yellow, and so yellow is blindsided by all the cars in front, and then hits orange, and then must have damage to the brakes. Now as we watch green, probably one of the better benefiters of the start, made a couple of positions starting in dead last, so slowing, cars are going side by side, green zooms past black, and after all that it's just able to dive down the inside for a couple of easy overtakes, and yeah, nicely done. You can see black there making that position back, and green swerves the other way to let cyan through without making any contact, playing the safe game. Now we're right on board with lime here, and lime gets a decent start, comes up behind purple, the troublemaker. Purple brakes, lime slows down, red zooms on past, and cyan as well, and then lime kind of just makes contact, gets shoved around the corner, gets past orange, who is spun by purple, and gets through relatively safely. Now we ride on board with black, who made 4 positions in the start from 9th to 5th, and we can see here a lot of heavy braking. Green zooms by, and then the chaos where everyone's 4 wide and spinning and stuff, and black just zooms down on the inside and gains in a lot of places. Contact with the line, but it's all good, it's just side by side, and that's a good start for black. Looking from bird's eye view on yellow here, yellow gets a decent start, and then everyone starts to brake and slow, and cars are zooming about, and then yellow gets stuck in this sort of side by side. Red comes and rejoins, hits, purple spins orange around, and then yellow is unable to get around the inside and makes contact, and you can see the dent there on the front of the car that is causing the struggle of pace. So we can jump back to the live footage with blue in the lead. Blue led most of the first race, so we're looking to convert this one into a win, and it would be a shame if he started on pole and didn't make it all the way through, but he doesn't have the best of luck either, being spun around and all sorts, but hopefully this race is the race for him. Pink also hasn't really started up high in the order much, so I think we'll be looking to get a solid result as well. Now there has been a rule change for this race, and this will apply to the previous races as well. All cars will now score points instead of just the ones who finish, because not enough cars were finishing, and so not enough cars are scoring points. So we've decided that everyone will score points, and that has changed up the current standings just a little bit. We'll be able to look at that at the end of the race when these results are also in. And that's a lot of smoke coming from the back of Blue's car. Pink is pulling up and possibly making an overtake into the chicane as we complete our first lap here at Spa Francorchamps. Again, a lot of smoke coming from the back of the car, but to be fair, it's happening to a lot of them as a lot of the cars are abusing the track limits there, going over the curb. But in this racing series, there is no penalties because of the AI. Always will follow most of the rules. Some of the cars are making it legally, but not all of them. Well, all the cars are still in the race at this point. There's been no DNFs in the first lap, and we're good to get racing as the cars come around the first corner here. The tight right-hander that heads you down the long straight into a rouge and then into the camel straight. Very fast-paced section of the track. As orange there's just a little bit behind. We haven't seen much of yellow recently. I wonder where he's at right now. As the cars zoom past Eau Rouge, one of the most intense and fun parts of any racetrack that we're going to be visiting throughout the year. As Purple tries a little sniff up the inside of Pink there, but ultimately isn't close enough to make the overtake stick as we go down the camel straight. And Cyan's taking an interesting line there, swoops back into the racing line. Lime now very close to the back of Purple, possibly seeing an overtake, and Black also pulls out of the racing line, and Black does make an overtake on Lime, and it looks like Cyan makes it past as well, so Lime having a poor run on the camel straight. Hopefully that isn't damage that's slowing him down. A couple of cars looking a bit squirrely on the curbs here. You wouldn't want to spin because that would cost you a lot of track position in the early stages of this race. As we come around the 180 degree turn, Blue leads us, followed by Pink, and Purple has now found its way into the podium positions, despite causing a lot of mischief and a lot of incidents. Hopping on board with Pink here, we can see that he's quite close to the back of Blue, who's spinning and struggling, and Pink is also having a bit of a fishtail moment there as we go through the long left-hander here. And Pink really has a good run on Blue now, but has to pull out as to stay in the race and safe as we come around the corner here. Pink getting right up close to the back of Blue there and thinking of a move but not being able to complete it. Spa generally is pretty good for overtakes, and we've already seen a couple, but of course it's our first time racing here, so we don't know how good the cars will be. So there's that yellow I saw in the gravel trap there, and yes, the telemetry on the side there is labelling yellow as DNF'd and out of the race. Our first DNF for this race. Yellow will be scoring a wholesome 1 point for this one, and Pink is now falling behind Blue, so it'll be a while before we have a change of lead, I think. Let's look at the replay of what happened to Yellow. So approaching the corner here, Yellow brakes at a good time, but just isn't stopping, and the car keeps on going. It goes right up and hugs the barrier there. That looks pretty bad, and it's extending the damage that was done on the first lap. But Yellow does manage to keep it going. And then approaching the corner where we saw Yellow get beached, and yep, just can't stop the car and goes deep into the gravel. There's no coming back from that as they jump back to the live race here. The order hasn't changed while we're gone, but there's a lot of smoke coming out the back of Pink, and Pink might be struggling with losing pace, and Purple seems to be going up the inside, but pulls out of it. Pink's pace has been looking pretty concerning over this last lap. I hope he hasn't got any issues, as Pink is still, well, they're all leaving a lot of smoke there. Must be struggling for grip as we finish the second lap of this race. We still have the same top two. Blue and Pink haven't changed. They've had a very strong race, keeping ahead of the pack, keeping their nose out of trouble. Heading to the first corner here. Purple going a little deep and black swooping around the inside, and there's contact, awkward contact, but purple pulls out and black does make the position in the end. As red and lime are starting to fall away from the pack, and in the background there you could see orange approaching the corner. He's still recovering from his first lap incident. If he does anything like he did last time in Hiroshi, he might end up on the podium. As blue is struggling for pace there, and pink is right back on the back of blue here. It's really unpredictable, the pace of all these cars. They're all changing around, being faster one lap, slower the other, and really adds to good exciting racing, I guess, as pink is right up behind blue. Pulls in behind as we watch on board with Cyan approaching purple with tremendous pace and going right past there. And is that contact? Cyan is spinning out and hits the wall. As we spin around with Cyan, we can see that it is indeed purple that has tapped Cyan. Purple's causing a lot of issues, but seems to have done lethal damage to himself this time, as Cyan goes through and has fallen far enough behind for orange to make a pass there. Unfortunate for Cyan, he was really doing well for where he started, and he might not be getting back on the podium today, unlike last race where he won. As we can see the replay there, just a little tap from purple sends them both careening into the wall. There's nothing they can do from that point. But I'll have to put that one down to purple there. It's all purple's fault. Shouldn't have been there, shouldn't have tapped. Should have been able to concede the position. And ultimately it has cost purple with damage that will really ruin his race pace. And yeah, we can see purple trundling around slowly there on the replay. Back to live, blue and pink. Pink is going over the grass there. Pink has had a difficult corner there, and lime goes all the way around, spinning on that corner. It's been a struggle all over the cars recently this weekend, and Cyan makes the same mistake. They're all doing the same thing. And you really don't want to get too much on the curve there, or you will spin around. And Cyan's struggles continue as it finds itself in 8th. Purple is being slowed by damage, so he is effectively the last fast car in the pack now. And lime having a bit of a moment there, fishtailing all about. This will give orange a chance down to the next couple of corners, and you can see orange pulling up closer and closer, getting right up to the back of the line here. But this isn't really a part of the track known for overtaking, so orange will probably just have to concede the position. Orange goes wide, loses time, and lime is safe for the time being. Blue still leads the race, followed by pink, and now green as purple has tumbled down the order. And black going a little wide there, trying to make an overtake work. And is that green and black going side by side? Yes, green has managed to maintain position there though. Cyan must have passed orange in the background there, we can see on the telemetry. Blue will be desperate for points here. He's been in 2 tough spots and had 2 unlucky races where he hasn't scored strong as all. Who's going slowly there? It's red and black going side by side, but black manages to sweep ahead and maintain the position. Heading into the chicane, blue with a strong lead, but goes a bit high over that sausage curve, and pink is right on beside blue here, where side by side down the straight for the lead. Pink seemed to have gotten the better exit of that corner there as they zoom past the start finish sign, and it looks like pink is going to have the inside for the corner, but blue hits ahead here and pink slides down the inside. That's a change for the lead, and green almost has to think about it too. Taps blue, but blue manages to keep the position. Green having another look, but ultimately thinking better of it. But that is big there. That is a change for the lead. Blue has lost the lead in a race again. And green is still hanging around trying to challenge for second here and see if he can pick up the crumbs as lime drops down the order in telemetry. Looks like lime's had a moment or a crash or something. See if we'll see it in this replay. Oh no, this is back at the chicane, so let's see what happens. Red gives black a big old whack and isn't able to get past, and there's awkward contact from all 3 of them. Lime getting caught up in that as well. But lime's still there, is above the cars that are shown in telemetry. He's back to live. Blue is back and challenging for the lead, getting right up beside pink, and is right on pink's bumper down here through the straight. Pink is going to have to do something pretty special to defend from this one as we head down to the corner. Blue is not giving an inch towards pink. Well defended. Blue isn't able to get past that time, but blue will be right on pink, hot on the heels, right through this lap as green's starting to fall behind. Yep, very close to 2 leaders, and red is making up some good ground considering where he was a couple of laps ago. Cyan coming around, his race was pretty much screwed by purple. And red's lost it. Red spun Black's coming around. Will Black be able to make it back to that position? Yes. Black does go right past him. Cyan would have been able to make a position if he held it straight on the road, but he isn't able to. And Lime's front of the car there is all bashed up, and Lime spins out into the gravel. Will he be able to keep on going? I don't know. But it looks like for the moment that he is out. But he's still ahead of Orange and Purple on the track, who are also having their own struggles. But so far Yellow is the undercar. Oh, Pink is spinning. Pink has gone too much onto the curb. And Blue and Green zoom by and take full advantage of that. Blue has regained the lead back from Pink, who is now under pressure by Black as they come around the corner. But Blue is your new race leader and has the race lead by quite a margin. Blue is also struggling a bit on the curbs there, but manages to keep it pointing in the right direction as we hear screeching of tyres. Hope that wasn't another moment from Pink, possibly. As I was saying earlier, Blue had a very strong race in Hiroshi Raceway, but was spun around by Purple and was unable to finish in the podium, but he led the most of the race, and if he wasn't leading, he was around second or third, and he was always in the mix. And it seems it's the same case with this race as Lime gets back onto the track, climbing out that gravel trap. But with the state of that car and the way he went into that corner, I don't think he'll be lasting very long. Let's look at the replay of what happened earlier to Lime. So we're on board here, and we're trailing Red down the main straight, and Red goes all across, and Green just gets into the grass and isn't able to slow the car down, and a big whack into the barriers. That's pretty substantial damage. I'm surprised Lime was actually able to get that back and going. So Lime will be praying here that there'll be a red flag so he gets a reset, even though he'll be at the back of the order, because I don't think he'll be able to survive the full race length in this state. So we get on board with Pink. This is a replay, and yes, Pink was the one who spun, so it's 2 spins in 2 corners for Pink, losing him the lead of the race and 4 positions. Quite miserable for Pink at the moment. Remember that anything can happen. We always have a lot of order shake-ups and changes for the lead and red flags, so even though it looks like the race is pretty tame at the moment, things will change very shortly, I believe. I'll be surprised if we get through this race without at least 1 red flag. As we look at a bit of a bird's eye view of the whole track, very beautiful location here, Spa. Lovely to come here and race. It's been a pleasure, and I hope we'll be able to come back next season as well. This is almost feeling very reminiscent of the first race of the season, Hiroshi Raceway, where we had Blue and Green also battling for the lead there. So these 2 drivers have been doing very well in keeping their form up, getting into the top couple of spots each race, which is very good for them. They'll be enjoying a lot of points in the championship, which they will now be awarded for extra points last race, even though they didn't finish. They both DNF'd unfortunately, but now they will get points as they go past a very slow Purple, and Green is right on the back of Blue here, coming to the first corner. Hopefully Blue can learn a lesson from last time and be able to defend the position, but no, Green slips past in the same fashion that Pink did. Blue unable to learn from last time, but this time it is Green who takes the lead. And as a reminder, Green started last on the grid, so at the moment Green has done a last to first effort in the race, which is very impressive. But we've seen similar before. In the first race, Lime went from 9th to 2nd, but that isn't the same. That's 2 places less impressive. And the telemetry there is signaling that Lime has been DNF'd. Lime isn't able to continue and will be out of the race, and at this point is ahead of Purple. So if Purple gets past Lime, Purple will get a free position, but at the moment Purple remains in 9th. Purple has really been struggling recently, getting poor results in both races. He was in the top spots in Hiroshi Raceway in the first race, but had an unfortunate accident, and then in the second race in Jungle Rock Island, Purple was caught up in a first lap drama and had too much damage and was unable to continue. Oh, and Green is spun and Blue is spun, and there's contact, and Black also loses it and hits both of them, and Pink is coming out of control as well and hits Blue. They're all losing it here as Red smashes into the back of Pink. That will be bad damage for both of them. They could both be out of the race. There could be a red flag here coming as well, so if they keep it rolling, then they will be able to stay as... Oh my, Cyan loses it in the same position. This is awful, and Pink is struggling to keep on going, and oh, I didn't see that. Further back we have a car flipped over and it's been red flagged. Okay, so let's see the replays. riding on board with orange here as we approach Eau Rouge, and it seems as though everything's normal so far, but we did see purple in the cushion, and oh, purple stopped at the top of the hill. Oh, and orange just smacks straight into him and rolls over. Looks like purple wasn't able to make it up the hill completely, but that's very bad news because that's the end of both of their races now, even though it wasn't orange's fault. As we look back at the incident here, all three of them losing it and just smashing into each other. Black did make a position of it, but it wasn't really off of his merit. And pink also spins and red crashes straight into the back of pink. Should have been slowing down after seeing that chaos, but didn't expect it. But they both managed to keep on rolling just a little bit, so they both stay in the race. And Cyan will grab a couple of handy positions, spinning but not as bad as some of the others. And pink has a stuffed wheel there. There's no wheel at all at the back right of that car, but still manages to keep on rolling. So we'll be included in the restart and still in this race. And then at this point the race has already been red flagged, but we can see Black losing it on the curb in a similar fashion to pink early in the race. We're here and ready back at the restart. We only have 6 cars left, very similar to Jungle Park Rockers. We're underway. Green in the lead, Black in second, and Cyan in third. That is your podium now. As red loses a spot to pink. Pink is zooming up the side of Cyan, but it's blue that will send the move on Cyan instead and get third position as pink and red go side by side. And we hop on board with red here, battling it out with pink for the final position of this race, but it's still a very high point scoring position. For 6th you get 8 points, and for 5th you get 10, so there's a lot to play for here as there's contact, but red seems to have the upper hand and yes, gets a better drive off the hill and gets 5th position. So green then finds himself in a comfortable lead right up in the head, and Black is swerving around trying to find a space to dive into and gets quite close to green but pulls out. They don't really seem to like making moves in this corner. Perhaps they've learnt from previous mistakes that it doesn't work. But Black is kind of struggling. Blue's right off the back of Black there, falling behind from green at least. But no, green is slowing down and they're all catching up here. And Black is going to go past green and there's contact, and green is spinning out of the lead of the race, and it's chaos as Black goes wide, spinning to try to keep on the track. But blue is now your race leader, finding his way back to the top step of the podium, and Cyan comes in second and Black in third. So we can see a little tap from Black there sends green spinning out. Blue and Cyan jump through, and red and pink also spun. So they're really struggling in this corner. There's been a lot of spins as they come around. And red and pink in a bit of a pickle here to not be able to get past. And they finally get going. Green swoops around but spins. And red has to shove his way through there, and pink will gain a spot on red there. Unfortunate for red, he did nothing wrong. And green, who also did nothing wrong. But that's racing. The two shades of blue for the first time find themselves in the 2 top positions. A really good comeback for Cyan after having that incident with purple. It's good to see that he's benefited from it, and purple has found its way out of the race, because it really was purple's fault, and purple was causing a lot of carnage. So I don't think purple deserves to get good points here in Spa. Oh, and Cyan struggling on the curb there, and Black doing the same and taking a trip over the grass and ultimately spinning out, but doesn't seem to lose any positions there. But it gives Blue and Cyan a bit of breathing space to battle it out for the top without having to think about other cars behind trying to slip past into the top positions. And we can see Black there still in third as we jump on board with Cyan to follow Blue. It's been a good race for Cyan, making up a lot of positions and finding himself back at the podium positions for the second race in a row. But can he get the second win in a row for the first time ever in this competition? No driver has gotten consecutive wins before, and it's gaining quite nicely on Blue there, even almost trying to get around the side there. Oh, we're getting a bit twitchy and falling behind again. That's valuable ground there that Cyan is losing. And Blue locks up until chicane. We'll just give Blue an opportunity, going high over the curve there. And both curves with that sort of sausage curve addition to the side there, making it difficult for the cars to get over. Cyan did gain through that corner and is now right at the back of Blue, but backs out in fear of a crash. probably the smart decision there, but Cyan definitely has better pace at the moment, and will be catching blue in a very short period of time, I believe. If Cyan gets the podium here, it's going to be looking very ominous for the top of the leaderboard. Cyan will have a strong grip on the lead of the competition. Cars are very loud as they blast down the straight here, approaching El Rouge. A little bit of smoke and a little snap there of oversteer by Cyan there. Oh, and Green is off. Green is into the gravel. It's been an unfortunate race ever since he got spun. He did have quite a heroic start, going from last to first, but now finds himself stuck in the gravel and out of the race. Let's see what happens. So riding on board, spins, goes into the gravel, and must have had damage there because that didn't look very normal. But then Green tries to get out but isn't able to, so jump back to live with Cyan right on Blue's tail for the lead. Obviously Spa is a bit of a longer track than usual, so we will do reduced laps, but this will stay consistent for all the races in this series. They'll be each half an hour long, so they'll get half an hour and then they'll find a lap. Oh, Cyan spins, is on the grass, struggling through that corner. That corner's been a bit of a pain in the butt for all of the races so far through this race. And Cyan loses valuable ground towards Blue, chasing the lead of this race. But it's still in contention. There could still be a mistake from Blue. Cyan's made that ground quite fast. Again, Cyan a little squirrely through that corner, making mistakes. Just not be able to keep up to the standard that he'll need for the win of this race if he wants to pass Blue. But also not losing too much ground and being in threat of losing second by Black, who, as you can see there, is quite far back. So let's go through the drivers who have DNF'd so far in this race. At the bottom we have Yellow, who will be scoring 1 point for last. At least Yellow gets points. That's a new rule change, so he wouldn't earlier. All the DNF cars will score. As we see, Green there stranded in the gravel, not going anywhere. Purple will score 2 points for 9th. Lime will score 4 points for 8th. Orange 6 points, and then Green, who just DNF'd, will score 8 points. And then the people who are still running in this race: Red will score 10, Pink will score 12, Black will score 15, Cyan will score 18, and Blue, with the win, will score 25 points in the championship. Cyan's all over the back of Blue again. It's only a matter of time before the pass is made, and Cyan and Blue zoom through down to the final chicane. Blue looks pretty okay in the braking, smoke coming out of the back of the cars, but that's been happening all the time at the moment. And Cyan goes a little wide in the exit of the corner there, but still looks like he gets a decent drive out of that corner and is able to contend with Blue. The first corner's been quite a favoured overtaking spot in this track, so we'll see if there's any moves made. And no, Cyan's too far back. But Blue struggles to get off there, and Cyan's trying to go around the outside. They'll be going side by side. Hopefully we'll hop onto one of them on board. Yeah, here we go. Cyan's perspective now behind Blue. We're right up there in contention for the lead, and they seem to be going at a similar pace, so Cyan won't be able to get in this time, but it's almost there. It's been tantalisingly close each lap, and he'll get another opportunity soon enough. A lot of the cars have been seeming to slam on the brakes unnecessarily there as we're going down the Canal Straight. Leading we have Blue, followed by Cyan, and then quite a far way back is Black, who might have damage because he's been losing pace, and then Pink comes in 4th, and Red right at the back in 5th, and they're the only cars running still in this race. So Cyan and Black were both on the podium last race with Orange, but Orange is out this time. Blue has never been on the podium, has never gone better than 6th, I believe, but has led races for the longest period of time, and they're both spinning around that corner. Cyan gets the worst of the two, and Black also spinning as he comes around the corner. And Pink runs straight into him, unable to avoid the car stricken there, and Black will probably have damage, and I assume Pink will too. Let's see if that affects their pace. Red gets a couple of penny. Black straight into the wall. Too much damage for Black, and he looks like he'll be out of the race. Pink gets 4th back, but I don't think Pink will be very happy with that. Red into the podium positions for the first time ever. Really unfortunate for Black. He was having such a good race. He started pretty low and worked his way up. But yeah, big benefit for Red, who now finds himself in 3rd, and he'll be looking to go even further. get a win. That'll mean a lot in the championship because he's currently lacking in points, having been the only driver to DNF in both of the previous races. In Hiroshi Raceway, in race 1, he had a first lap collision with Orange, and Orange spun around and Red was able to get through, but Red did sustain damage and eventually spun around and got hit and was out of the race. And then in the next race, Red was able to survive 2 red flags before crashing into the side of a wall, being pushed wide, which was out of his control completely, but he did get 5th after surviving some previous incidents and crashes caused by the other cars. So he did get a handy 10 points. So we look to the leaders again. Cyan chasing down Blue for the lead of the race. This will be the best result for Blue if he can hold this on. He's finished 6th twice in a row, but he probably deserved the win in the first race and then got robbed after a nasty spin. And in the second race he also had an incident that was not his fault, so he'll be looking to get good points and make up for those factors that were out of his control. Oh, taking a lot of curb there, and Cyan's going to have a good run down the straight into the first corner, which is the most favoured overtaking corner in the entire track. And we hop on board with Cyan, following Blue through, trying to get any sort of slipstream that he can, and being too far back to make a move, but will get better run, hopefully. Yes, Cyan going around the outside and making contact for the lead. Oh, and they've been spun. Thud into the wall goes Cyan, and Red will take the lead from the 2 Blue cars, and Pink will zoom past as well. That's tragedy for both of them. Blue was able to keep on going, but Cyan has not been able to get that car rolling again and seems to have too much damage. We'll see if he can keep on going, but if he can't, there would be a red flag here. And he seems to be able to. Oh, there we go. Now the engine kicks in. Good for him. He will still get some points for his effort, but that's very unfortunate. It's Blue going wide up a Rouge. You can see the damage in the front of the car there. That doesn't look good for him. Another race run for Blue, but this one, you have to say, is all down to him, all his fault. He spun Cyan. He could have avoided it, but he got caught up in defending his position. But to be fair, he had to do something different because he's been overtaken in that corner more than once by other cars. So I guess he was just trying to try something different, and it didn't work out for him or the car trying to pass him. So the new battle for the lead is now Pink versus Red, but Red looks quite comfortably out ahead and in front. So I don't think this one will be quite as dramatic as the last, which ended up in the 2 drivers crashing. But we can see that the Black, despite still being listed as in the race, hasn't been able to pass Blue or Cyan in all of his time, so yeah, I think it's safe to assume that he will be DNFing soon. Oh, Pink getting it all mixed up there, and there we can see Black. You can hear his engine there and see him. He's going slowly, but so long as the cars are able to get around him safely, there's no drama there. But Pink losing valuable ground towards Red. And you can see Blue only making around the first corner now, so they haven't made much progress since their crash. And oh, Blue goes straight into the gravel. Let's see if he can get back out of it, or else he'll suffer a similar incident to Green, who fell into the gravel and didn't have too much damage but wasn't able to keep him going. So Cyan then makes up 3rd position despite being very, very slow. Oh, and Blue manages to get back on the road. So I think Blue will just breeze past Cyan here. No, it's on the grass there, I don't know what's happening. But if not, he'll just do it in the next corner, as Cyan is smoking. I don't think that's his brakes this time, I think that's his engine, because it's pretty consistent even on the straights. And yes, Blue will just breeze by for the podium position of 3rd. It really pays to stay alive in these races, doesn't it? It's almost more about survival than daring overtakes. Oh, Blue's struggling, what's happening? Going very, very slowly. And Cyan might even make the position back, but no, Cyan also struggles in this corner and goes deep into the runoff and is now reversing for whatever reason. It's interesting. But yeah, these 2 cars very damaged. I don't think Black will be passing them, so really at the moment it's just a battle for the lead, Red versus Pink. As we look towards it now, Red with a comfortable lead. Both Red and Pink have had quite unfortunate races. Pink finishing 7th in the first race in Hiroshi Raceway after having a last lap incident with Black. They butted heads a few times in that race, And then in the next race, Pink was the only car to be eliminated on the first lap with a crash in the hairpin in Jungle Rock Raceway. Really unfortunate. And then Red, as we said earlier, was also involved in the first lap incident in Hiroshi Raceway and suffered damage and wasn't able to finish the race. As Pink getting really close, but again pulling out as we enter the Camel Straight. A lot of drivers have been doing that. But as I was saying, Red gets last in the first race, and then the next race gets 5th, also crashing out of his control. So these drivers both haven't really had a chance to be up in the top spots, so a win or even second position will be really good for them. Looking onwards to a struggling Blue and Cyan. Blue unable to make the corner and spinning, sending smoke everywhere. You can see a lot of damage to the front of that car after the collision with Cyan and then the barriers, and it's trying to go backwards as Cyan does the exact same thing. These drivers are really struggling at the moment, not being able to put it together with a damaged car. Pink swoops on by, chasing down Red as we enter Eau Rouge, and this will be the final lap of the race, the final lap here at Spa, as they drive their way up one of the most famous corners in the whole track, Eau Rouge here. And yeah, Pink is getting quite close to Red, so Red's pace is struggling and Pink is going around the inside, but again pulls out. This section is quite dangerous and you don't want to make contact because you'll be sent into the wall like Cyan and Purple earlier in this race. I think they both would have seen what Blue and Cyan did, and they'll be at the forefront of their mind as they try to avoid colliding in a similar fashion, so that they both get good points, because they both know that they're struggling, so they both probably want to play the safe game, which they've done, because they're the only two cars that doesn't have sufficient damage, as Blue just can't stop the car and zooms on and smacks into the barrier. I think that'll be race over for Blue. Cyan will get a podium position after all. But yeah, that is unrecoverable, Blue. DNF. You can see his name has gone grey on the telemetry, signifying that he's out of the race. And Cyan hopefully won't make the same mistake as earlier, but no. Cyan goes the safe route and picks up a podium position after all of that. It seems that Cyan is struggling around the corners, but can go fine on the straights and some of the really long corners, the less bendy ones. But yeah, you can see Cyan with steering damage there, trying to counter steer the car, which is wanting to go the other way. As we jump to Red, it was extending the lead on Pink, and it's going to be looking like a fine victory for Red, starting down low and avoiding all the chaos, finding his way into the top step of the podium and winning. But it isn't over until it's over. If Red makes a mistake, then Pink could take the victory here. Oh, and no, Pink is the one making a mistake now. As you can see, damage to the side of the car when he ran into black. But Pink is able to get going, but that just extends the lead to Red, who you can't even see now. So it's looking very promising for Red as we enter the final stage of this race. Green still trying to get back on the track. Oh, Red hits Green. The last thing Red wants to do is hit a fellow DNF competitor and have too much damage to complete the race. That'd be quite unfortunate as we approach a slow-moving black. And Red's got to... Oh, Red doesn't move out of the way, and Red has hit black and is struggling now. That looks like bad damage. Red is missing a wheel at the front there. The wheel is completely shredded off, and Pink will come around and be able to overtake for the win. I don't know how far Pink... Oh, there, we can hear Pink now coming through. Yeah, that's very unfortunate for Red, and it looks like Pink will zoom past for the victory of this race here on the final lap. What a dramatic final lap here. And if Red can't finish the race, then Cyan will also get second. So Red is going to have to try and navigate this last corner here, but as you can see, Cyan there crossing the line and finishing the race a lap behind. But Pink will zoom through and win, and yeah, Red can't even make the last corner, so Red will lose second to Cyan there. But Pink wins the Spa race, the only car still functioning properly, as we can see Green there in the gravel, unfortunate for him. And then we can see Black struggling, who just got clobbered by Red, pretty much ruining his race. Black is moving around but not getting anywhere, so that will be a DNF for Black. He finishes in 5th though, and Red had it all for himself and then fumbles on the last lap and crashes out. And then Blue crashed Cyan out but got the worst end of the deal and doesn't even finish. Cyan still gets second. And with that, Cyan will be leading the championship with 45 points. One of only 2 drivers to finish on the podium twice. That other driver is Orange, who despite crashing out in this race remains in second. Remember, we have that new point scoring system where you score points no matter whether you finish, and that does apply to the previous races, so the order has been a little bit shuffled. But Orange is still in second with 2 podiums, followed by Pink with the win today, jumping up to third in the standings, getting over Black, who had an amazing race last time in Jungle Rock Raceway, but is now in fourth in the championship, followed by Green, who has 32 points, Pink, Black, Green, all tying on the same amount of points, and then Yellow and Lime come next with 30 points each, followed by Blue, who has continued his run of unfortunate events, still gets 12 points today, and sits on 28 points in 8th, and then in 9th we have Red with 26 points, getting 3rd, but should have won and would have been in 2nd position in the standings if he had. It goes to show how costly that mistake was, but he is in 9th instead. And then in last place is Purple, who hasn't finished better than 6th, which is the worst of everyone, and has DNF twice, which is probably deserving considering the amount of trouble he's caused. But that's it for this race here at Spa. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you can tune in for the next race, which will be at West Coast, USA, the racetrack. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, share the video around so other people might enjoy it. And with that, I'll say goodbye.